Rituals have been around for a long time. It all falls into the category of magic and sorcery, which dates back quite literally thousands of years. Now, because it's Halloween, I wanted to mix this video up a bit. So not only will I be talking about rituals and giving you instructions on how people perform them, I will also be talking about a few cases where people have had terrifying experiences whilst trying to communicate or summon spirits. So, from the elevator game to the Three Kings, here are paranormal ritual instructions and gone wrong stories. Before we get in, don't forget to pick up your ghost beanie from the Top 5 store. Because it's Halloween, for today only, you can get 20% off the beanie. So head over there now and take advantage of this offer. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. The beanie looks amazing. Hit those lights, sit back, and enjoy. The Three Kings Ritual. The Three Kings Ritual is a relatively new, supposedly spirit summoning game, and some have labelled it the most dangerous game you could ever attempt. But how does it work, and what supposedly happens if done correctly? Well, it's a game usually played with 2 participants, and the requirements are as follows. You will need a windowless room, a pack of candles, a bucket of water, a mug, an electric fan, 2 mirrors, 3 chairs, an alarm clock, a fully charged mobile phone, and 1 object with sentimental value. Place 1 chair in the centre of the room, facing north. This will be the throne. Position the other 2 chairs each side of the throne. One is for the fool, and the other for the queen. Place 1 mirror on the queen's chair, and the other on the fool's chair. The mirrors should be aligned to face the throne, so when sat on the throne, you can see yourself in both mirrors. Put the bucket and mug in front of the throne, just out of reach, and put the fan behind the throne and set to medium. Then leave the setup and go to bed. Before going to sleep, set your alarm for 3:30 AM and put the candles, lighter, and mobile phone next to your bed. Turn off the lights and go to sleep, holding your sentimental object. When the alarm clock rings at 3:30, switch it off, grab your sentimental object, cell phone, and lit candle, and return to the throne room. But do not turn on the lights. Aim to be sat on the throne no later than 3:33 AM. And while sat on the throne, do not look at the mirrors. Do not let the candle go out, and if you're playing with a partner, they must wait outside the room. You can now start asking questions. If you receive answers, they will supposedly come from the mirrors each side of the throne, from either the queen or the fool. The game continues until 4:34 AM, and it's said you should not leave the throne until then, under no circumstances. At this time, your partner must end the game by calling your name. If that doesn't work, they must call you on your mobile phone. If that fails, they should enter the room and fill the mug with water from the bucket to bring you back. At all times during the game, you should stay aware of where you are, and if you feel you're drifting, you should cling to your sentimental object to bring you back. If any of the above steps are not followed exactly, then that is apparently when trouble starts. So what is supposed to happen if the ritual is successful? Well, similar to the Ouija board, those who have been successful supposedly claim that the presence of spirits will be there, some even claiming that the spirits can be evil. Others have reported seeing spirits manifest in the mirrors, and have received messages through voice and by shaking of the throne. Others have apparently gone into full-blown trances, and have had to be brought back by their partners, using the water in the mug method. In many cases, when the ritual has resulted in some sort of communication, the participant has been left profoundly shaken and often changed forever. I'd be interested to know if any of you have tried the Three Kings ritual, and whether it's all just a fun game, or if there's some truth behind it. Ouija board knife attack. The Ouija board is the most famous paranormal communication tool on the market. Now, I'm not going into how it's played, or how it supposedly works, because I've talked about that before, and I'm sure you're all aware of this. But I wanted to talk to you about a very strange case that took place in 2012. A teenage boy from Texas was stabbed in the stomach by his best friend. The wound was so severe that the 15-year-old boy spent 3 days in intensive care. So what could possibly have happened between the 2 friends to cause one of them to attack in such a vicious way? Well, I'm sure you know where this is heading. After the 15-year-old boy was arrested and questioned by police, not only did he freely admit the offence, but he also stated that it was an Ouija board that made him do it. The two boys were hanging around in a wooden area behind their school when the one stabbed his friend with a 4-inch knife. The attack was witnessed by another boy, and after the stabbing, the attacker took his victim to a local garage to call for help, and told him to tell the police that he had fell on the blade by accident. However, after he confessed, police confirmed that he actually believed what the Ouija board had advised him, and that his friend was the cause of his problems. This boy had no history of mental illness or criminal behaviour, and investigators believe the boy used the Ouija board to rationalise the attack, and warned of the powerful influence that an Ouija board can have on a person. The boy was later charged with attempted murder, and thankfully his victim made a full recovery. So what do you think? Was the Ouija board responsible for this? Or was the boy just looking for an excuse for his actions? The elevator ritual. When the Elisa Lam case hit the headlines in 2013, there was speculation that just before her disappearance, she was participating in some kind of elevator ritual. This prompted more and more people to try the bizarre ritual, often with scary consequences, one of which happened in 2016. The story was posted online by an anonymous user, and if true, it's pretty terrifying. A girl agreed to try the ritual as a bet with her boyfriend, who had become obsessed with the Elisa Lam case. She wanted to prove to him that the elevator ritual was fake. After taking a few notes on the game, she identified a building in downtown Atlanta that she thought would be perfect to perform the ritual. If you aren't familiar with the rules or how it works, then we posted them over on the Top 5's website for you to take a look at. However, I'm not advising people do this, because even though many discredit it as nothing more than a silly game, others claim it worked. After entering the elevator, the girl carried out the steps and nothing happened. However, when performing the last step that takes you to the 5th floor, this is when things got strange. A woman, as written in the guide, did get in. The girl looked her in the face, thinking the whole thing was fake anyway, and didn't think too much of it. She then hit the button to end the game on the 1st floor. This is when the woman started to talk. She said there had been an accident on the 5th floor, and asked if the girl would go back there to help out. Remembering the warning about not engaging with a woman who's said to get in the elevator who gets in on the 5th floor, the girl was getting nervous and didn't respond. At this point, the little woman started to get angry and abusive. But worst yet, the lift was taking longer than normal, and the little woman then started to cry. For some unknown reason, the girl told the woman to shut up and pushed her head against the elevator door, in an unprovoked and somewhat maniac impulse. As the little woman started to bleed, she seemed deliriously happy. Eventually the lift reached the 1st floor, but the little woman blocked the girl's path and pushed her back into the elevator. The door closed, and as the girl frantically pressed all the buttons to stop it moving, it quickly ascended until it suddenly stopped on the 10th floor. The door opened and everything seemed normal. The girl hit the button to go back to the 1st floor, and the elevator smoothly moved back down. The girl ran out and immediately called her boyfriend, who just laughed off her seemingly ridiculous claims. But that was not the end of the matter. The next morning, in a dreamlike state, the girl woke up and found herself standing in the middle of an office. It was still dusky, and as she gazed out of the window, the city appeared dead. There was no sound, and just a dim-lit light in the distance. As she glanced around the office, she noticed an elevator, which indicated she was on the 10th floor. She pushed the button to call the elevator, and it took her down to the lobby. Strangely enough, it was the same lobby she had been in the day before. The same thing supposedly occurred to the girl every night and morning for the next 10 days. And during the day, the girl constantly saw the face of the little woman popping up all over the place. The girl apparently urges anyone thinking of playing this game not to, as the other world is a prison that she thinks she is trapped in. A Ouija board murder. On July the 21st, 1987, the bullet-ridden body of a Vietnamese immigrant named Van Dang was found in woods in the border of Florida. Carved into his chest was a large inverted cross, a satanic symbol. Shortly after the discovery, 25-year-old Anthony Allen Hall and 3 accomplices, Bunny Dixon 18, Daniel Bowen 23, and his girlfriend Alexander Rebecca Towney 18, were arrested and charged with his murder. It was established that Hall shot Dang 6 times with a .22 caliber pistol, but he claimed at the time of the shooting he was under a satanic spell. Hall, who was of low intelligence, had been heavily influenced by the other 3, in particular Bunny Dixon, who was a firm believer in satanic worship. On the night of Dang's murder, Dixon and Towney posed as hitchhikers on an Orlando street, and when Dang stopped to give the 2 women a lift, Hall and Bowen hijacked his car at gunpoint. The 4 then planned to use Dang's car and money to fund a trip to Virginia. The group bound and gagged Dang and put him in the car's trunk, then drove to North Daytona Beach, where they stopped and shot him. Hall claimed that the idea came from the spirit of a dead 10-year-old named David, with whom Miss Dixon communicated with through an Ouija board, and that he took part in the slaying while under a spell that had been placed on him from a satanic ritual that Miss Dixon performed. He also claimed it was Dixon who carved the large inverted cross in Dang's chest with a butterfly knife, something she denied, before he and Bowen shot him several times in the head, neck and torso. Hall's pleas of Satanism and the Ouija boards being responsible for his horrific actions was not accepted by the court, and Hall was sentenced to death by electric chair. Lucille Hamilton. 20-year-old Little Rock resident Lucille Hamilton was found dead inside the home of Hungan Hector Selva, a self-proclaimed voodoo priest. Lucille had been at the house for a cleansing ceremony known in voodoo circles as Lave Tet. An initial test on her indicated there were no harmful levels of alcohol or drugs in her system, and her cause of death was a mystery. Lucille, who was a transgender female, had worked hard through the summer to save the $1,500 charge for the ritual, and had saved enough to travel to South Jersey, where Selva practiced. It was the first time Lucille had travelled alone, and she was excited about the cleansing ceremony, that claims to improve the ability for possession, clears the mind, clarifies abilities for seeing, and substantially improves the life of the individual in all areas. The ceremony involves the head being washed several times with different herbs, and being blessed in order to remove negative and undesirable energy, and replace with washings for strength, magic, wisdom and peace. After the ritual, a meal is prepared from sacrificed chickens, and the participants then sleep. The ritual started on Friday to run through to Monday, but on the Sunday morning, Selva went to wake Lucille up after the ceremony, but she was unresponsive. He called 911, but it was too late. Although her death was never considered suspicious and was ruled accidental with contributing factors of physical exhaustion, ambient room temperature, and an oxygen-depleted atmosphere, there are still many unanswered questions on how a healthy 20-year-old could lose her life after taking part in a voodoo ceremony. Many believe this highlights how powerful these rituals can be, and that they should only be carried out by certified voodoo priests, which Selva was not. What's your thoughts? Do you believe in voodoo and think this was the cause of her death, or do you think it's nothing more than a made-up fantasy? So that's 5 paranormal rituals and gone wrong stories. I hope you've enjoyed what we like to call the Creepy Marathon Month. Now it's back to the UFOs, aliens, and all other things this channel is known for. Don't worry though, there will still be plenty of paranormal videos to come, but up until next October, I hope you've had an awesome, creepy-filled month. And don't forget to pick up your ghost beanie from the store and claim your 20% off. If you believe in the supernatural, then this beanie is for you. It would also be an amazing stocking filler for Christmas. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.